Hello there, welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Madison. It's time to draft Battle for Zendikar. I'm Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Bueller early in the morning here on day 2. And we're going to follow along with the nearly Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame
Edel.
elect.
Yeah, he's what, 3 days away now?
4 days.
4 days
Wednesday,
away. It's
yeah.
Wednesday, yeah. So we're going to take a look at what Willie is up to here in draft. And this is our first taste of it. It looks like he's opened a Zada here, which is an okay card. I don't think it's a rare that you get super excited about. Certainly playable. There's a Bane of Balaged, I see, a Spawning Bed, that's going to be one of the interesting things to keep an eye on as we move through the format. Randy, where do you take these lands?
Sure.
And then I also saw a Gideon's Reproach in there as well, which is a really good removal spell.
I'm not sure you're happy to first pick it, but it is good. I always want to first pick an uncommon or a rare. I just feel like the power level there is higher. Not that the rares are unbeatable in this format. They're actually, I think, closer to the uncommons. Bane of Balaged was the pick.
Wow. Willie's going big. Takes a 7-drop first. Now, the one thing to note here is that he's also he's first picked a colorless card here, which theoretically leaves him open to different colors, though when you take... Oh, that's not a bad one. He kind of paused on it, the Ulamog's Despoiler. That one's not as good, though. You know, that one can be a 9/9 if you can... if
process
you can
something?
Process 2 somethings.
Yeah.
There's a Stone Fury in the pack as well, which we've seen be a reasonable removal spell as well.
He's looking at that Dominator drone.
Yeah, he does kind of... I think he is kind of favoring it. Now, that's black.
Seems to like the colorless side of the war.
Wow. Willie has 13 converted mana cost out of his first 2 picks.
Welcome to Zendikar.
My goodness.
Let's battle.
Let's see if he can find a way to actually cast these as we move through. There's another Dominator drone.
Forerunner of Slaughter.
Forerunner of Slaughter. That could be
in.
signally.
I am all over third pick Forerunner of Slaughter.
Yeah, now, if you do take it, now, of course, the deck that this goes in is in the red-black Devoid aggro deck.
Of course. You wish you'd taken the Dominator drone out of the last pack.
Yeah, but the question becomes, are you kind of abandoning those first 2 picks? Like, are you playing a 7-drop in that deck?
It depends how it works out. Do I randomly wind up with some spawn generators? But whatever. I mean,
Rarely in those colors.
Agreed.
Sometimes,
I don't care, though. Like, I want my lane.
Mm.
I think this is a very synergy-based draft format. Right? There are a lot of archetypes faked in. I mean, it's not, Modern Masters level synergy, but if you can get past gold cards down the road, you want to set that up where people can pass you 3rd and 4th pick, good uncommons that only go into your archetype. So that to me is a signal. I mean, Black-Red Aggro may not be the best deck in the format, but it's a good deck, especially when you're getting past 3rd pick Forerunner of Slaughter.
Yeah, now Swarm Surge is a part of that archetype. It's not necessarily the most important one. He's going to take a Stone Fury over it, but Swarm Surge is a card that you will see play in the Devoid decks. It didn't look great upon first blush. It's a sorcery, and you're kind of like, yeah, the sorcery speed, mass pump spell, not really into it. But as it turns out, it works pretty well if you can support it. Wow, there's another Dominator drone. Kozilek Sentinel as well for Willie here.
Yeah, the 2-drop or the card that's actually costed the way you want it?
Yeah, this is a tough one because the Kozilek Sentinel's decent, but the best thing about it is that it costs 2 mana.
Right.
It does end up cracking in for a little bit of damage, and it's decent. But Dominator Drone is much more in line with what you're trying to do with the deck.
He goes Dominator Drone.
Take it.
There's so many 3-drops for this deck. Every card that you want in every common in black or red costs 3.
And there's really no killer 2-drop outside of the Forerunner, right? Like I'm
right. I mean the Black
now.
Grizzly Bear. There's a 2/2 for 2 that has Ingest and Devoid.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it goes in your deck, but
I mean, it does everything you want, right? It's colorless. It's Ingest comes up sometimes.
Ooh, there's a Titan's Presence.
What just happened? The entire room just complained about how many cards were in the pack. The judge called it wrong, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they just...
All right, back on track. Titan's Presence.
Yeah, Demon's Grasp is also playable. As you can see, these
got to be better than Demon's Grasp, right?
Probably in his deck, yeah.
I mean, yeah, assuming you have colorless stuff in your deck.
Yeah, which is where he's going for sure. I mean, remember his first 2 picks are those big Eldrazi Of course, those are colorless, and then the creatures he's taken after that have all been colorless. So.
Pick up your pack. You have 20 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Not much in this pack for Willie here. He's
No.
trying to make this
Yeah,
deck
there's green and
go.
white cards in this pack.
5 seconds.
Not that any of them are great, but at least they're playable. He's going to take retreat to Hagra, I would think. But
Just because
he's hoping it winds up in the sideboard. I mean, you can play that card. It's not like it does nothing. It has no synergy with anything going on in the deck.
Pick up your pack. You have 15 seconds.
Desolation Twin. Blister Pod. None of these are the cards that he wants.
No, these go in different decks.
I think you take the Desolation Twin, right?
I guess. I mean, he's just really not set up to cast a 10-mana spell at this point.
Okay. He took a black card. I think, was that Dutiful Return?
Yeah. We saw that get some reasonable play out of the sideboard of Reed Duke yesterday in sealed deck, but I really wonder if that's what you want. This is the
Zada
pack
came
that
all the way
Willie
back.
opened. Yeah, Zada came back. You know, she's not a high pick. You'll include her in your deck sometimes, though. You know, she's an ally. She has like an upside.
Was it the Whiptail he took?
I couldn't see, actually. He took it out of the middle of the pack.
Yeah. It was one of the 4 drops.
Sneaky Willie Edel. 2 Voracious Nulls in this pack?
I think you take Molten Nursery. Like, I think if his colorless deck comes together, Molten Nursery is actually playable.
Certainly has the highest upside.
Right.
Do you know why there were 2 Voracious Nulls in that deck? What, do they replace one or something? Could be.
It's a fine question.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
I think Mindraker's actually decent if you wind up with some random ingesters. Defeat it. I mean, 3/3 and they discard a card for 4 is good value.
Been pretty underwhelmed by it. But at this point, I think Willie's quite happy to see it.
Oh, yeah.
Because his deck has not really come together too well for him. He started off by going one direction by taking these huge Eldrazi, and he kind of switched gears to try to get into the more lean and mean black-red version of this Devoid deck, and kind of neither really came together. He doesn't have a lot of Eldrazi Scion makers to try to pump out those big 7 and 6 drops.
I mean, his black-red deck isn't awful. Given that he switched into a 3rd pick, he wound up with...
It's
Yeah,
not
okay,
very
not much.
good. Yeah,
You're right.
I mean, this Forerunner Slaughters is his best card by a mile here.
Right, and then he's got what? A Dominator Drone,
Right.
the Stone Fury.
Yeah, he's going to note, of course, that remember he passed 2 Dominator drones early in
And they
the
didn't come
pack,
back.
and neither came back. So that might be a route he does not want to take.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a card that comes back. The question is, did they get drafted immediately on his left, or did they get a couple?
Yeah. Is there a
couple
little
seats
cushion
away?
there?
We'll find that out in the next couple picks.
I am curious to see what direction Willie takes this. I mean, he could just have a great pack 2 and just get right on track with this black-red deck. But if not, he may want to look at backing out of that plan and looking into casting those big Eldrazi instead. All right, so here comes pack 2 for Willie.
There are not 14 cards face down in front of you on the table. Please call for a judge.
The other nice thing about the black-red aggro deck, there's a lot of really good red cards in this set. Ooh, Noyandar.
There's a Ruination guy. There's a Dominator drone.
Sludge Crawler is a good cheap drop, although not as good as these other cards.
Yeah. Ugh.
Noyandar, though.
Yeah, Noyandar's sweet. It's just 2 colors that he's not in. Ruination Guide is you know,
He's not
made
that color either.
He's not now, but he could, you know, consider dipping over there for that card because it's high power level in his colorless deck here.
Crazy. Yeah, I guess you can't take Noyandar.
Such a huge departure from what he's doing. See what he
So
does.
what are you taking? I mean,
I'm taking Ruination Guide. He's going to take Sludge.
I can
Crawler.
respect the Sludge Crawler.
Sure, I can too. I mean, I'm just saying, like, for me at that point, Sludge Crawler is quite mediocre. It does go in his deck. I don't blame him.
I actually
But-
think it's actively good in his deck. It costs less than 3.
Mm.
It's colorless.
That is a big bonus.
It
Ooh,
ingests
hello.
file aggregate. Yeah, okay. The Dominator drones went more than a couple seats, probably.
Yeah, there's another one coming back to him here too.
Yeah, culling drone would have been nice. The
Wow.
file aggregate is spectacular.
Huge pickup. Like
If he's
maybe
gonna
one of the
first pick-
best non-rares he could get here.
I'd rather have another Forerunner, but yes. I think I'd rather have another 4-runner.
It's debatable. I think
The two drop versus 3 drop says I'd rather have a 4-runner.
Probably.
While aggregate, it may be higher power level, but it's just there's so few good 2 drops. Like Culling Drone is your
that's
next
your
best
go-to.
one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Windmill
Vile
slam
aggregate.
vial
Bang.
aggregate here.
Shake the table with that one
Yeah.
because that's a nice pickup for Willie's deck here. He's hoping for just a few more of those to come through before whoever took the Dominator drones out of pack 1, filters through the rest. Ooh, Smothering
sure.
Abomination. Okay, a nice rare here. This one is a little weird in his deck. Wow, there's a Deathless Behemoth too, though. That's such a good
fine.
6-drop.
It's 4/3 flying. You're hoping you have some dorks, your 1 and 2 drops that have been kind of outclassed by the time that he comes down.
Yeah, the Abomination seems to go best in the green-black, deck that has like sort of a sacrifice sub-theme
Sure,
going.
where you actively want to sacrifice.
But
your
still, a
blister pods and
4/3
whatnot.
flyer is going to do business in an aggressive, devoid deck anyway.
Might
So
even be hasty. Turn
Yeah.
5, haste it up with the 4-runner.
Oh yeah. And like you said, he will find himself in a position where he's got creatures that have kind of outdone their stay.
Sludge Crawler.
Oh, there's a vestige. Whoa, hello, Drana. Wow.
Now her power level has to be good enough that you take her even though she's not colorless,
Not
right?
remotely close. Yeah, absolutely. Just huge pickup for Willie Edel here. God, that is amazing. That does make his earlier picks of smaller creatures look even better too.
True.
Any 1 and 2 drops that he has just go up so much in value because if you can go 1/2 into Drana, your
Completely
opponent
agree.
is just buried. And there's a Vestige of Emrakul for him here too, which is a nice card. That card's it's proven to be solid, right?
Yeah, it's
and yeah, I mean 3/4
Look, I'd rather
is
have a
one of my
Sludge Crawler.
favorite. Yeah, now that I've seen the Drana.
Right.
Yeah.
If
But-
it wasn't for the Drana, maybe sure. But Sludge Crawlers and other cheap drops.
Draft. Please lay 9 cards face down to your right.
Yeah, this pack has gone well for. I expect it to drop off a bit for him here in the mid pack as whoever was taking this
Supposed
Dominator
to.
drone starts to get him. But so far, so good for Willie Edel here.
Okay,
All
now
right,
the
well.
gig is up.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a Slide Runner, but honestly, you're hoping you don't play it.
5 seconds.
He wanted 2 drops. Yeah, it's not.
I'd rather have a
colorless,
Culling
but
Drone, but-
yeah.
Draft. Please lay 8 cards face down to your right.
To be fair, though, he doesn't have a ton of colorless synergy.
No.
Like the Molten Nursery.
Yeah,
one- at the
which is borderline
4-runner.
at the moment. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Now we get the packs the other
Yeah.
black-red guy has filtered.
Right. So fair enough. He really crushed the first half of this pack, and maybe he can pick up a couple more playables out of the rest of it, and then he's got the third pack to do the same. And
5 seconds.
Yeah.
he knows he's fighting somebody at the table for
Well,
these
he's the
type of
specs. How did
cards.
that Drana came though? Like it was Dominator drones. I was about to say maybe it's not a black-red mage, maybe it's like a black-blue, but whatever the Drana says.
Yeah, it could be. That's true. And the black blue mage that got the Ruination guy would be fantastic too.
Those are like Sentinels. You're gonna take it. I mean, the stats are not ideal for the aggro. It's sort of a weird card. All the Eldrazi are they're weird.
Yeah.
I actually love the way the design sort of oozes this like inscrutability.
Yeah, they're aliens.
They're
yeah, they're not supposed to look like what we're used to.
No, they all feel weird.
It-
Like
it is
silent skimmers. What is going on
yeah,
with this creature?
it's weird. Sure, Shatter Skull Recruit, or maybe a Slab Hammer. I think Slab Hammer supposedly goes better in the Landfall deck.
Yeah, it's not bad though. I think I would have slab hammered there.
His curve's low.
Right. Oh, you definitely Boiling Earth.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's good against you, even if you're not going to play it. At least
Yeah, and
it
he-
tends to be good against black-red. He doesn't actually have the Nettle Drones and the 3/1s that this archetype often
Yeah,
sees.
but the cool part is that he can actually cast it as well. And and sometimes he'll be able to bring that in against other people too.
You have 5 seconds.
He's gonna wind his way down the last part of the pack here.
Please lay 2 cards face down to your right.
And like I said, these are kind of the whatever picks as we finish up.
You have 5 seconds.
Oh, take the Raider. Come on.
Yeah, Raider's playable in a
Eh.
pinch.
Yeah, in a pinch it is.
Like the Voracious Meld.
Yeah, and we were saying earlier we wanted the 1-drops if we could get them.
Colorless 1-drops, ideally, but yeah, Drana doesn't care.
Yeah, this is a really good pack for Willie. It did peter
Definitely.
out in the middle, but
Whatever.
he got a Drana.
Yeah. Does he have enough cards?
That is the question, because he's basically drafted half of a pack twice here. You know, he got, like, because remember, his first 2 picks aren't necessarily going to make the cut for him.
Right.
Maybe the 6-drop will. I doubt he wants to play Bane of Balaged, though. I mean, he
Agree.
so far doesn't have a single Eldrazi Scion maker floating around that deck list at all. And no ramp cards. And just cold playing a 7-drop. You know, people kind of get used to it. It's like, oh, it's Rise of the Eldrazi, or it's, you know, we're back in Zendikar. We can do this stuff now. But you really do need the enablers to get up to 7. I think 6 is reasonable to put one in your deck. And
Yeah, I mean,
you
you
know,
could
just
do
have
that
a
in Rise
top
of the
end.
Eldrazi. You could not
Yeah.
do that in Zendikar.
Right.
Even 6-drops were kind of funny.
Yeah. Hell,
We're-
4-drops were.
Right, we're kind of halfway in between those 2 formats, right?
Yeah.
Elements of both, for sure. I feel like he needs depth here.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I mean, also, you're always happy to open bombs, but
Yeah, he needs to fill out the sort of the meat and potatoes part of his deck here.
yeah.
Let's see what he finds. Oh, From Beyond. That's kind of a dagger. Not gonna be able to play that. Ugh.
Ugh. Where are the black and red cards? You take Titan's Presence, I
Yeah.
guess?
Yeah.
I don't think you can splash for Nullifier. Or From Beyond. From Beyond would be good in the Eldrazi version of his deck. But it's not coming.
Yeah, if he would have opened these packs in a different order, this draft would be pretty great for him. But because he would start off with the From Beyond and then open up some Eldrazi in the last pack. But
The Predator is a decent
it is.
beater.
It's a fine 3-drop.
It's just not a synergy card, right? He's got
Yeah. But you mentioned it earlier, Rand. I mean, he happens to have a lot of colorless creatures, but I don't think that, you know, you know, he doesn't have a lot of payoff for them.
Right.
They just happen to be colorless currently.
Yeah, it's like the Sentinel, the Forerunner, and the Nursery, and you're probably just not playing the Nursery at this point.
And he's got enough payoff for the Forerunner already. I mean,
It is
fine.
enough payoff all
yeah.
by itself.
Ooh, there's a complete disregard.
Sweet.
Hello. And there's a culling drone that he really wants to come back that
Yeah, he
won't.
keeps seeing them in like second pick where you want to take the actually good card rather than the one that happens to fit your deck.
Yeah, he did open up a green bomb there. The Woodland Wanderer sitting back there too. Card's great, but nowhere near what he's up to. So
Yeah, you just take complete disregard.
yeah, that's pretty
You-
good. I mean, remember he's got a Demon's Grasp and a Stone Fury as well. And, you know, those are good
Yeah,
removal spells in this type of deck. You curve out with your creatures when they finally play a big blocker, you kill it and whack them. It's nice.
Pick up your pack. You have 30 seconds.
Yep. There's a Sludge Daddy.
Yep.
Sure.
I'm not sure 1-mana 1/1s get to be daddies. I think that's a rule. He's
That is fair.
he's still crawling.
Yeah, it's true.
Give him a couple of years.
The Sludge Baby?
There you go.
Yeah,
the pick.
it is.
It's totally the pick.
Oh man,
If he draws a Drana a lot,
that's what I was gonna say. Is that his win percentage with this deck? I think is going to be directly correlated to how often he draws Drana.
Bone Splinters.
And a Bane. Now, if he wanted a 5-drop, he could take the Claustria Night Watch. Has no synergies
Meh.
in his deck, though.
Yeah.
I like the
yeah,
Bone
this
Splinters.
is- I think this is an easy Bone Splinters.
Doesn't go particularly well in his deck, but hey.
Well, I mean, clearing their giant thing and attacking them with your motley collection of, 2 and 3 drops.
Junkers, yeah.
Right?
Please lay 10 cards face down.
And stack the Sludge Baby. And hit it with everything else.
You have 25 seconds.
Oh, Painful Truth is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Swarm Surge is the kind of card that if he had
Ah.
the good version of this deck, he'd be all over it.
I
I'm
think
not
he
sure.
still. I think he still wants it. Like it makes the Sludge Babies actually a thing.
I mean, Grave Birthing is actually better than it looks.
It is. It is playable. But I would Swarm Surge here. I mean, he we've been looking for payoffs for him. He has committed to a Devoid deck with only a few exceptions.
Okay. Yeah, I'll buy Swarm Surge. It is the first Swarm Surge. And he doesn't have a lot of Grave Birthing synergies. Like, the thing is, if you randomly need food to process, Grave Birthing can be great.
Absolutely.
The fact that his instant speed can sometimes turn on colorless synergies in the middle of a combat.
Yeah, he found a Blighted Gorge.
Yeah, totally. Blighted Gorge.
He could consider a Mortuary Mire as well. if
Right.
he,
I was on Mortuary Mire. I'm like, oh, Blighted Gorge, even better.
Yeah, I like Blighted Gorge better as well. Mortuary Mire does seem well suited in a deck like this where you can pretty aggressively trade off and really you just want to have a lot of threats on the board at all time. But it doesn't replace.
Yeah, having one of your lands
Removal
turn into a
spell.
shock,
Yeah.
quite good.
You have 20 seconds.
Second Swarm Surge, not as exciting. So he probably takes Sentinel.
Yeah, I like the Sentinel here. There's also a Pilgrim's Eye. Does he have anything to do with that? The fixing doesn't matter. Just gives him a colorless flyer. Yeah, that's just not enough.
Sentinel's better.
Certainly not aggressive.
Draft. Please lay 7
That was actually a nice pickup. Picking up that's his second Sentinel, right?
Yep.
That was pretty good.
Pick up your pack. You have
Because he's right on that borderline where he expects to start getting no cards anymore.
Keeps being Mist Intruders.
Yeah.
It's like, gee, do drop colorless creatures. Oh, why must you be the blue one?
5 seconds.
Yeah, I actually just don't have a problem at all with Willie throwing in a few of these landfall aggressive creatures in his deck.
Sure.
They just don't. They're fine. Like they're still just going to be curve out beatdown cards.
Yeah, the only thing that's at stake, I think, is the Molten Nursery.
Yeah.
Like, you line it up. If it's all colorless, then a Molten Nursery makes the cut. If there's, 3 or 4 or 5 of these random colored landfall beaters, then Molten Nursery doesn't.
Yeah, and I think at this point, you said it earlier. I think you're right. I think it's out. I don't expect to see it from him in this draft. The only way that it could is if he ends up a little short on playables, in which case I think he would play it in a heartbeat. Sure.
Spires is probably better. He's not going to play a 7-mana Scour, right?
No, he's not. He's already got 2 5-mana removal spells. I think he's
True.
well set on the top end.
Cards face down to your left. Pick up your pack.
Oh, this deck came together.
Yeah, I think he's in the right colors.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting somebody.
Sure Strike's a nice trick for this deck,
Sure
by the
Strike
way.
is very good, yeah. And I think, did he end up picking that Zada at some point as well?
I think he passed it twice.
Okay.
I think he's in the right colors. I think he's basically got the deck that was available to him here. I mean, if things had opened in a different order, he could have had a ramp into Eldrazi deck.
Yeah, I
And
want
I'm
to see
sure
what
he
the-
wishes his second pick had just randomly been a Dominator drone instead of a second fatty.
Yeah.
But I kind of like what he's done here.
I want to see what the other Devoid deck looks like at the table.
Please lay 1 card face down.
It's clearly fighting somebody. I think it was probably blue-black like you predicted, though.
With the Ruination Guides,
Yeah.
Dominator drones. Yeah,
Right.
maybe. There's pod 1. 6 undefeateds. Well, 6.5 undefeateds. We've also got an 8-0-1. And then Wrath Levy snuck in as the lone 8-1.